is offline, Captain.
I may have something. The quantum signature of the Cooper, as well as that of the Vulcan cruiser, are inconsistent with ours.
That's not possible. All matter native to our universe resonates with the same quantum signature. Nothing can change it.
That's true. Unless. This is not our universe.
Welcome to our review and analysis of Star Trek Discovery's mid-season premiere episode, Despite Yourself. Oh boy, there is a lot to unpack here. Better get started. But first, our obligatory spoiler warning.
Warning, spoilers are coming. Spoilers, we're visiting the palace of the Spoiler King. Jon Snow is a Targaryen.
So, the crew of the Discovery is, somewhere. Oh look, there's Tyler. Ashfaq. Vulcan rebels? Klingon ships that aren't quite right? Inconsistent quantum signatures? Sounds like we are in a different universe.
This is not our universe.
Captain Lorca doesn't want anyone to know that he changed the coordinates of the last jump. Oh, Lorca, what else are you hiding?
It's a palace. Stay close.
Stamets is thoroughly broken. Sad. Tyler, Ashfaq, suffers a PTSD episode, or flashbacks, or a conflict of personalities, or something. Also, the rebels, or should we say the resistance, in this universe appear to be losing. Okay, this interface is very cool. The captain demands loyalty at all times, Burnham.
Can I count on you, Burnham?
Yes, sir.
Don't open the cell. Don't open the cell.
Oh, come on.
Okay, we're gonna say it loud for everyone in the back.
Ash Tyler is Vok.
Also, whatever is going on with activating Ashfaq as a sleeper agent, it's going wrong. Burnham, you get this man relieved of duty and you do it right now. Do you understand?
Just let me try and handle things. At least for a little while.
Sigh.
And so far, we can conclude that we are indeed in a parallel universe. But one not governed by the Federation, but by a fascistic human-only organization known as the Terran Empire.
Boom. There it is. We are in the Terran Imperial Universe, or what fans call the Mirror Universe.
Hello, this is Captain Tilly. What the hell? What the hell? Hold your horses.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
How you doing, Captain? Everything squared away here? We've got a wee bit of trouble with the visual emitters and the starboard nacelle, but a bit of tweaking, we'll be good to go. All right?
Okay, plus 10 meta points. That was funny. In the Terran Imperial Universe, Lorca and Burnham have a deadly past together. Except you already knew that, didn't you, Lorca? And you'll never guess what, there is another Prime Universe ship in this universe. The Defiant. No, not that one. This one. Oh boy, things are getting complicated. Tyler, Ashfaq, suspects there is something wrong with him. Oh my, Tilly is Boss Bay.
Well, let's not keep these assholes waiting.
Whoa.
Long live the Empire.
Episode 10, Despite Yourself, is rich, fast-paced, and a hell of a jumpstart out of the mid-season break for Discovery. A lot of ground was covered here. The biggest patch of that ground refers to the Terran Imperial Universe, nicknamed the Mirror Universe.
I submit to you that your empire is illogical because it cannot endure. I submit you are illogical to be a willing part of it.
We've perhaps suspected that this was coming through the malfunctioning spore drive, the slow maddening of Stamets, the behavioral changes in Captain Lorca, and other subtle clues. But now we're here, and things are not so subtle anymore. So let's take a moment to understand the outlines of this alternate universe. Existence of the Terran Imperial Universe begins at an unknown date, probably deep in the past. Like in the Prime Universe, first contact for humanity happened with the Vulcans in 2063. Except, instead of the start of a friendship between humans and Vulcans, it was a start of conquest. By 2155, the Empire had spread far beyond Earth, ensnaring not just the Vulcans, but also Tellarites, Andorians, and others. By the 22nd century, the Empire was fighting for its life against a rebellion comprised of those same conquered species. First indications of a crossover between the Prime Universe and the Terran Imperial Universe emerged in the 22nd century, when the Prime Universe Constitution class USS Defiant, NCC 1764, was lured by Terran Imperial Universe Tholians through a spatial interface gap between the universes. The Defiant not only changed universes, but also time periods, trading 2268 in the Prime Universe timeline for 2155 in the Terran Imperial Universe timeline. The Terran Empire seized on the opportunity that this USS Defiant represented, as it was a technologically advanced starship. This led, presumably, to the rise of Empress Hoshi Sato. You can follow the journey of the USS Defiant from the original series episode, The Tholian Web, to the Enterprise two-parter, In a Mirror Darkly, right up to the current season of Discovery. For a starship, it's a hell of a resume, going back in time, changing universes to enrich and upend some fascist evil empire. It makes you wonder what happened to your old car after you sold it. Another crossover occurred when an away team led by Captain Kirk of the Prime Universe USS Enterprise accidentally wound up in the Terran Imperial Universe in 2267. After spending some time among the Terrans, Kirk and company escaped with their lives back to the Prime Universe, but not before implanting some curious ideas into Terran Imperial Spock's head.
One man cannot summon the future.
But one man can change the present. Be the captain of this enterprise, Mr. Spock. Find a logical reason for sparing the Hulkans and make it stick. Push till it gives.
The alternate Spock would, years later, go on to lead the Empire and introduce a series of reforms, including some form of disarmament. Those reforms, unfortunately, opened the door to outside invasion. A Klingon-Cardassian alliance overwhelmed the Terran Empire, enslaving humanity and freeing other species. By the 2370s, a human resistance movement was underway and began to push back against their enemies. Terrans made several incursions into the Prime Universe in order to gain strategic advantages against those enemies. In one instance, Terrans stole plans for the Prime Universe USS Defiant with the intent to build it for the Terran resistance. And by Defiant, I mean this Defiant, Defiant class NX 74205, not the older one. I know, it gets confusing. Also, Grand Nagus Zek of the Prime Universe crossed over to the Terran Imperial Universe in order to gain an economic foothold in that reality, a move that did not go according to plan. At last check, the Terran resistance appeared to be on the verge of victory against the Klingon-Cardassian alliance. So that's a rough outline of this alternate universe, which is one of at least 7 universes in Star Trek known with some detail. And probably just one of thousands, really. It appears the story of the USS Defiant, the older Constitution class, is not over. That unlucky ship may have given a technological boost to the Terran Empire's fortunes, but it seems it'll have a role to play yet for the Prime Universe crew of Discovery. Speaking of the Mirror Universe, what do you want to wager that the unknown emperor of the Terran Empire mentioned in this episode is none other than the mirror version of Philippa Georgiou? It's possible. It would make for more than a little drama to have Burnham face off against her sort of ex-captain. Or maybe the Emperor is still Hoshi Sato. Personally, I think the latter would be great. Now, regarding Captain Lorca. We've already theorized that the Lorca we see in Discovery may possibly be of a different time or another universe, specifically the Mirror Universe. Discovery's Episode 10 lends more evidence to this theory. We've seen that Lorca isn't the same man he used to be.
All these months, I have ignored the signs, but I can't anymore. The truth is, you are not the man I used to know.
We've seen that Lorca has a special relationship with Burnham for reasons he hasn't really explained, in that he breaks her out of jail and is generally overprotective of her.
I've been there. Only one location will work. Lieutenant Tyler doesn't know how to access it. I do.
Then you'll tell someone else where it is. You're not going.
We've seen Lorca admit his research into the spore drive's ability to travel beyond the Prime Universe, which he was basically working on behind Stamets' back.
You've been accumulating this data from my jumps the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
And these scattered pockets of negative mass, they could indicate alternative parallel universes connected to the mycelial network.
And we do see Lorca in episode 9 manipulating the coordinates of the final spore jump without telling anyone. So, what if the Lorca we know is in fact from the Terran Imperial Universe originally? Does that explain his motives? Let's see. In this episode, we discover that Mirror Lorca attempted a coup against the Emperor, which failed, and that he was responsible for Mirror Burnham's death. The alternate version of Michael Burnham, captain of the alternate Sinjo, was working to capture the Mirror Lorca. So, what if Mirror Lorca aboard the Mirror USS Buran escaped to the Prime Universe USS Buran, resulting in the destruction of both ships, crews, and the death of alternate Michael Burnham in the process? And what if his quest to get at the Emperor continued into the Prime Universe, where he found a way to get aboard the USS Discovery by impersonating his Prime Universe counterpart? The Discovery and its sister ship, the USS Glenn, were the only two Prime Universe ships that had the capacity to travel between universes. So perhaps Mirror Lorca wiggled his way into command of Discovery and manipulated the crew into pushing spore drive research so that he could use it to get back to the Terran Imperial Universe. If you look at Lorca's behavior, his tendency to keep secrets and manipulate the crew, his refusal to leave the ship and to push Stamets past the breaking point, it lines up well with someone who is trying to get back to his native universe to finish a mission. And you know what? Lorca probably didn't come over alone. And Michael Burnham? How does she fit into this Mirror Lorca theory? We've already seen how. He is using her as a cover to get to the Emperor by having her pretend to be her Mirror Universe counterpart. So, I'll let you think on that. All of this theorizing, and the big part that the Terran Imperial Universe is playing in the story of Discovery, leads to some questions and some implications. We know how the Constitution-class Defiant wound up in the alternate universe. It was due to the Tholians of that universe. They lured the Prime Universe Defiant into their universe through an interspatial technobabble with a fake distress signal. So just getting to the Defiant won't mean that the Discovery crew will be able to get back to their native universe, although they may learn something about it. It does mean we may have to find some Tholians, though. So why does Lorca suggest that the crew search out for this Prime Universe ship? Perhaps because Lorca knows the crew will be motivated to go home. But importantly for Lorca, the old USS Defiant might just be the flagship vessel for the Emperor. When the Defiant first landed in the Terran Imperial Universe, the Mirror Hoshisato presumably used it to take her place as Empress of the entire Empire. It was the most advanced ship the Terrans had seen at that time. Perhaps the Defiant is still being used as a personal transport for the Emperor. The crew of the Discovery now knows about the future of the USS Defiant, that it disappears into the past of the Terran Imperial Universe in about 10 or 11 years or so, relative to their native time period and universe. And they know about the existence of the Terran Imperial Universe. Neither of these things are known in the Prime Universe, presumably. Captain Kirk certainly didn't know about this parallel universe when he accidentally visited in 2267. So, what does that mean for the future of Discovery? Does the crew make it back and is then sworn to secrecy about both the Defiant and the parallel universe for some reason? Or does Discovery and her crew all die in this weird, campy, terrifying reality? And while the USS Discovery is in the Terran universe, where is the ISS Discovery? And importantly, does it have a spore drive? That's it for our review. Thank you for watching. If you like this and other Trexpertise videos, then consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. It is the best way for you to help create more Trexpertise. You can also support the channel and get yourself some sweet future swag over at our Trexpertise store. You can find the relevant links in the subspace below. Also, check out our latest work, Prescription Antarctica, over on our other YouTube channel. We'll see you next week.
遠い将来を考えてみようよ。